So I have a root cellar that's built into the floor of my house, and it works really well for storing root crops and other vegetables over the winter. But the temperature tends to fluctuate too much between the seasons. Like in the wintertime, it's too cold for aging cheese. And in the summertime, it's way too warm for either storing vegetables or aging cheese. And so there's just this narrow window of time when it's the ideal temperature for aging cheese. I tried doing it in the past and it just never worked. It wasn't enough time. It would get too warm. And so I have the option of buying a refrigerator and keeping that going for aging cheese, but that consumes power, and I'd like to consume as little power as I can, and that might push my power system beyond its capacity. So I've come up with this idea because I have this cistern where there's a huge thermal mass of water, and it holds its temperature more evenly throughout the season, partially because it's a huge thermal mass and partly because it's underground, a lot more underground than my root cellar is. So I came up with this idea, and I don't know if anybody's done this before, of just floating wheels of cheese on the surface of my cistern, and then they'll get the high humidity that they need and they'll get the ideal temperature. Right now I took the temperature of the water in my cistern and it's about 53 degrees or so on the surface. Since it's a huge thermal mass, it'll probably hold that cold for a while. I probably could have started this process a couple of months ago and been in a better situation, had a longer period of ideal temperature. The cistern's definitely going to get warmer than this because I know from last year I took the temperature in the middle of the season or maybe kind of late in the season, and it was in the 60s down there. So although my cistern is buried and you would think the Earth's thermal mass would regulate the temperature, depending on if I've filled it up recently and some other factors, it could be warmer than ideal temperature. Ideal temperature for aging this cheese is 50 to 54 degrees, so I've got a little time yet. So what I'm doing today is setting it up so that I can float this wheel of cheese. I made some Gouda, and I'm going to float the wheel of cheese on the surface of my cistern and start this process. For the next 6 weeks, we're going to be aging this cheese in my cistern and see how it turns out. So this is the whole hatch that goes down into my cistern down there, and what I've done is put this piece of foam board down in here, and that's going to serve as a floating surface to drop this wheel of cheese onto. Okay, so this is the wheel of cheese that I've coated with beeswax. It's not the best system for coating cheese because the beeswax is a little bit firmer than I'd like it to be, and so it tends to crack. But this is what I have right now, so we're going to give it a shot. And we're just going to put it into this other bag, and then we're going to drop it down into the cistern. Tie this up to the same jug that I've got the styrofoam attached to. Put the lid on and see how it does. Alright, so I'm going to check out what's going on with this cheese. The water level's down a little bit. I've been using my water. So if you made it here to my channel and you haven't subscribed yet, now would be a great time to do that. Just take like a second here. I'll pause in the video, and you can just take a second to click the red subscribe button that's below this video, and that way you can get updates, and every time I post a video you'll get an email that will let you know what it's about. So last night I took my cheese wheel out of the cistern and I brought it inside and I took all the cheese wax off of it just to check it out. It's only been about a month that I've been aging it down there, but the level of the cistern was getting pretty low, and so I just wanted to check it out. I saw some mold on it, so I took the cheese wax off. There was quite a bit of mold on the exterior, and next time I'm going to do a better job of waxing the cheese and it'll make a better seal. I still think it turned out really good. I was excited last night when I cut into it, and I saw that even though it hasn't been in there very long, it's done a pretty good job of aging. And it's got some holes in it, as you can see. And just kind of like, this is a washed curd cheese, so it's kind of like Swiss and Gouda. It's a Gouda, but all of those cheeses are Emmentaler. They're all washed curd cheeses, and this one obviously was prone to little bubbles in it. It's really good. I think it would be a lot better if it hadn't been gotten mold on the outside of it. Not as sharp as like a Swiss cheese would be, but I could see leaving it in there for another month or so and it getting much more sour. It also doesn't have the bitterness that I've had with some of the aged cheeses I've tried in the past, because I used animal rennet instead of vegetable rennet. Sorry, I should stop eating it while I'm talking. But I'm pretty excited about it. Like, the cistern maintained the temperature pretty good. And it was able to get some good aging in down there. And it was such a simple setup, just floating the cheese on top of a piece of styrofoam in my cistern. Worked fine. I could probably fit many wheels on top of that foam board and age a bunch of cheese at the same time. So, cistern cheese, a great way of using a form of refrigeration that's not too cold like a regular refrigerator for cheese. It's just right for aging cheese, and it doesn't require any energy inputs. So, hardcore sustainable. Doing things more sustainably with the resources you have. Thanks for watching my channel, and don't forget to subscribe and give a thumbs up to the video if you liked it, and share it with your friends. See you next time.